Hello students, welcome to the next session of transistors. Today we are going to discuss about the current components and how exactly these transistors work. In previous session we have discussed that there are various types of transistors. They are mainly classified into BJT and FET. We are discussing about BJT. The long form of BJT is bipolar junction transistor. So its name bipolar stands because we use electrons as well as holes. We use two poles. Bipolar, we have junction, we have two junctions here, and it is a transistor. We also discussed the meaning of transistor in previous session. So the most commonly used BJT is NPN. In a BJT, we have three terminals and two junctions. It is used as amplifiers and switches. It operates in three configurations: common base, common collector, and common emitter. It operates in three modes: active mode, saturation mode, and cutoff mode. So out of this is the symbol of transistor. This is BJT. So out of these three terminals, how exactly everything functions, that is part of our study. It's all about transistors here. So let us discuss our today's topic. And what are our three terminals? We have base, we have collector, we have emitter. BJTs are further classified into two types. We have discussed in previous session. We have PNP transistor and we have NPN transistor. The one which is shown here is NPN transistor because it is most commonly used. In NPN transistor, the arrow of emitter goes out. In PNP, the arrow goes inward. And these the three regions where it works are active, saturation, and cutoff. We will see about its graph also, how exactly we get these regions graphically. Then we have discussed about transistor can be used as a switch. This particular transistor which is shown in left side can be termed as a switch. A function of switch is to on and off. Basically we use transistor for digital logic. In digital logic we term on as 1 and off as 0. The first question for today's class is: will BJT be off in saturation region? What is your answer? Is it true or false? In previous session briefly we discussed about the regions. What happens in saturation region? We have two parts of the transistor circuitry: input and output. Input side is always forward bias, output side is always reverse bias to keep it in active. What happens in saturation region? You have to put your answers in comment. Okay, your time is up. The answer is, it is false. In saturation region, the transistor works as on switch. There are two conditions: cutoff, that means off, and saturation, that means on. And in between cutoff and saturation there lies the active region. In active region transistor works as an amplifier. So we'll see how it happens. So this is another example. Here we can see we have input side and we have output side. We have discussed in previous session we can have common emitter, common base, and common collector configuration. Because there are three terminals, any one terminal we have to make common between input and output. So this left side is say our input side, so we are making emitter as common. Like in transistor, NPN transistor or NPN BJT is most commonly used. In configuration, the common emitter configuration is most commonly used. So this diagram will be visible many times. In previous session we have seen transistor as an amplifier by taking example of common base, where base was acting as input as well as output terminal. So here we are using common emitter configuration, where emitter is common between input and output. So what is that input side? Input side we have base and we have emitter, and we also know that input side we have to keep forward bias. So if it is N, P, N, this transistor is arrow is going outside, so this transistor is N, P, N, so base is P, right? So to make input side forward bias, P should be connected with positive terminal and N should be connected with negative terminal. So this is our input side which is in forward bias condition. Now if you observe, we have one P type and one N type only at the input side. So if we consider only P and N combination, it is nothing but a diode. It works as a diode at input side. Its characteristic also follows the graph of diode, because we have P and N junction here. Base is P, emitter is N, PN1, it behaves like a diode. So in diode what happens, wherever there is a P type and N type combination, there will be formation of depletion region, and if it is a silicon material, we get that depletion region of 0.7 volt. So VBE, that means voltage between base and emitter, that is the input voltage. Now we should get familiarized with this voltage and current names. Input side we will have input voltage and input current. Output side we will have output voltage and output current. Right now we are discussing about input side only. So input side is connected between base and emitter, so we will call it as VBE. So if it is less than 0.7 volt, it will be off. When we activate base, then only our remaining circuit works. We have seen in the previous session, when base acts as a control part, we can say. It is controlling if it is giving pulse, if it is high, and when it will be high when it is greater than 0.7, and then only this part will be activated. So if we connect some bulb here, so when it will glow when our voltage goes above 0.7 volt, because depletion region wall strength is 0.7 volt. We have discussed it in the PN junction diode video. Those who are not familiar with this concept, they can watch the PN junction part 1 and part 2 videos. So this is about the switching action as well as the input voltage and input current. Similarly, we will have output voltage and output current. Output is connected like this, that we will discuss in some time. So what we have to remember, we have switch and amplifier. These two are the applications, widely used applications of transistors. Switch we use in digital electronics, like you are studying DE. In DE, when you design some flip-flop or any gates, those gates are made up of transistors. So these switches are nothing but the transistors which are used in digital electronics, and their applications in digital electronics are microprocessors, memories, and other controllers. And when we have that switch, either it is in saturation mode or cutoff mode. Cutoff means off, saturation means on. In between that, it works as an amplifier. This is analog electronics. It is used in the sensors and radios while designing the IoTs. You must have heard about the Internet of Things. Internet of Things works with sensors. We need various sensors which can communicate with the environment and our system. So these systems, because in all the natural signals available in the nature are analog in nature. So these amplifiers and these analog signals are weak. So we need amplifier to increase the strength of this weak signal. So another application of transistor is an amplifier. So here we have to remember cutoff and saturation modes are related with switch, digital electronics, and in between them there is an active mode that is used in the amplifier. We have seen in the previous session transistor as an amplifier. Now, before moving to the current components of transistor, we have to have some recall of the virtual concept of electrons. In electronics, the simple definition of electronics, it is coming from the electrons. It is about the movement of electrons. And what is current? Current is nothing but movement of electrons. But we don't take the direction of movement of electrons as the direction of movement of current in conventional. We have discussed in the earlier classes. What is that concept? In normal conductor, we get current due to only electrons. But when we talk about semiconductors, we have electrons as well as holes. Hole is a complete virtual concept, but we consider hole current also while dealing with the system. It can be understood by taking example of some light. What is light and what is darkness? Light, if I say the light is moving here, so if light is moving towards right, someone with negative thinking can say that darkness is moving in left. But darkness is not a phenomenon. Darkness is absence of light. That's it. Similarly, hole is not a physical particle. It is absence of electron. So let us understand it with another example. Say, if you might have seen the lightnings in functions. So bulb may glow in a sequence. One will on, then it will off, the next one will on. So it can be considered as the direction of light. Say it is going towards right. So someone can say that when light is going towards right, darkness is moving towards left. So same thing is applicable to electrons and holes. So when we have electrons and holes, if there is a hole, when electron is not there, he becomes positive. He require electron. So what he will do, he will try to attract another electron from nearby atom. So the electron next to him will jump to that hole, and in place of that electron there will be another hole created. So then he will attract the next electron. The next electron will go to that place and hole will vanish. But when electron is moving to next place, he is creating a hole behind him. The same thing is continuously happening. So you can see electrons are moving towards the left, and someone can say that holes are moving toward the right. So finally we will get hole at this place and electrons on another end. So this is actual movement of electrons. But when electrons are moving in one side, we also get a hole current in opposite direction, right? And electron direction is the movement of electron, but the conventional current direction is opposite to that. Because what happens when electrons get created at negative terminal, so they get attracted towards positive terminal. So electrons always move from negative terminal to positive terminal. Negative terminal will repel electrons because negative terminal is negative, electrons are negative, and similar will repel each other. So electron will go towards positive. But nature's law says that everything should flow from positive to negative, that is from higher potential to lower potential. So for mathematical calculation, we consider conventional direction of current, which goes from positive terminal to negative terminal. So we can say that the direction of electrons and holes, here, if electrons are moving towards right, holes are moving towards left, but the direction of hole and direction of the conventional current is same. So current flow is, in few books you will find that current flow in the opposite direction of the electron flow and same direction as hole. This current flow is about the conventional current, not the actual current. Actual current is flow of electron. So everyone should remember this concept. So these currents in any transistor happens because of electrons and holes. So in NPN transistor we have the sandwich, two N types combined, sandwiched with one P type. In P type we have holes shown as black, and these reds are the electrons. So we get two junctions. So this junction, if it is emitter and this is base, so this is called as JE, emitter junction. So this will be called as, say, JC, the collector junction. and there will be formation of deflection region due to movement of electrons and holes without applying any field like this. And towards left we get more electrons because it is heavily doped, so we represent it as N++. So this side is heavily doped N++, and this N+ represent it is doped, highly doped, but lesser than this particular part. So this particular movement in animation is fine for understanding. While for representation in examination, we have to use the direction. So in this we can see we have NPN transistor. Left side emitter is highly doped, so it is shown as N++. Right side is little less doped, so it is N+. The middle part is holes, it is narrow part. So what happens, we have the input and output. Now you can see base is common between input and output. So which configuration is it? It is common base configuration. So here we can see what are the various current components. Left side you have N type. When it is N type, you get two types of current. In N side you have electrons, those are majority carriers. Along with that you have few holes which are minority carriers. So you get current due to, say this is IEN. If you focus on this, I stands for current, E stands for emitter side, N stands for the electron. So you have higher values of electrons, they flow like this, and IEP stands for current in E type due to holes. This is due to minority holes. It is the total IE current, that is combination of IEN plus IEP. Now while going into the process, when electron try to jump from this base, but base have the holes, so electrons and holes they try to recombine. So whenever electron finds some hole, he will recombine and become immobile ion. They will form covalent bonding. So this recombination is shown like this in the base region, and this is IC is the collector current, that is output current. Left side is input, say right side is output. Input side is forward bias. P side is connected with positive and N side is connected with negative, and this one is forward bias. Here we get IE. IE is due to this one, and IC, whatever current is coming from this place will form the IC. So same thing we will see. Say this is our diagram in common emitter. Previous diagram was for common base. Input circuitry, we have VBE. This is positive, this is negative. So this is base current here, and output side we get IC, right? And this IC current, along with IC current we have IE, that is emitter current. So how to represent it in an examination? We have to show the structure. So this diagram is showing PNP transistor, where output side is open circuited. What is meaning of open circuit? Here we are not connecting the battery, we are connecting battery to only input side. One more difference we have to see here, that it is not called as voltage between voltage BE. It is not called as VBE. It is called as only VE. It depends on the author of book. So you can remember any nomenclature, you have to show some voltage is applied. And what we have to remember, we have to make it forward bias. So previously for NPN, P was at the center, so positive was connected towards left side. So now what we are doing, we are rotating the battery for PNP transistor. So here we can see P and N is connected with battery, and output side is not connected with anything. So this can be termed as a diode only. So this is forward bias. Here we have holes. In P type majority holes are there. In N type there are electrons. So base is narrow. So narrow means there is less place for the electrons, so holes will have more quantity. So while flow we get the depletion region and we get the recombination. So what is the meaning of recombination? When electrons and holes they combine with each other, they become immobile covalent bonds, and they satisfy themselves. So it is so called as recombination. So another example here we have again same PNP transistor. We should remember NPN and PNP. If in examination if he asks to explain PNP, just you have to rotate the batteries. How will you keep the batteries? You have to make it forward bias. How to make forward bias? P should be connected with positive, N should be connected with negative, and output side you have to make reverse bias. How we will do it? P should be connected with negative and N should be connected with positive. Now when both the batteries are connected, there will be several currents associated. So left side we have P. Now it will be called as the total current. Left side is emitter. Total current IE will be combination of the current due to majority carriers and current due to minority carriers. Now this is P type. So who is the majority carrier here? Holes. So in holes, IPE, the current in emitter side due to holes. You can change the order here, but you have to mention it in examination. And this lower side is showing the minority carriers. Lower side, less value of the minority carriers. In P type, holes are the majority carriers and electrons are the minority carriers. So this current is due to minority carriers. When they enter into the base, so if these are holes, in base there are electrons. So holes and electrons, they combine with each other, they recombine, and we get a flow like this of IB. So this is base current due to various currents which are moving across the emitter and collector. And this one is collector side. This ICBO is output current. IC, collector side is output. IC is the output current when base is open. So this again we will discuss about these concepts in detail. And this is another approach by using NPN now. For NPN what we are doing? We have to make it in opposite direction. So to make it forward bias. Again from emitter side we are injecting the electrons. In P side the base they are diffusing, that means recombination, and collector is collecting the electrons. So this is flow of electron. So flow of electron is like this. So current direction, conventional current direction will be in opposite direction. So we have to remember the recombination concept at the base, right? So I hope this concept is clear. Now one more approach to understand this concept. We will see, say this is our emitter, base and collector. So flow of this particular current is say from emitter to collector. So emitters we have these imaginary electrons. This is just toy example. This you need not write in exam, for our understanding only, part of animation. So we have three regions: collector, base, emitter. So from emitter this electron will start moving say towards the collector. So while moving to collector, these electrons should cross the base. While crossing the base, some few electrons will settle down into the base, forming base current, right? So we'll see how it happens. So when it will happen, when we give the emitter proper voltage. So this is VBE. So negative will repel these electrons. Now all of them will move. So while moving, these two, say out of these three electrons, two reach the collector and one combined with the base. Let's see one more time. This arrow is going to base. So this out of three, one is jumped down for the formation of base current or recombination, and these two are collected by the collector. So we have to remember this. Second question is, what is the input voltage in common emitter configuration? So is it VCE, VBE, ICE or IBE? Your time starts now. So the first hint is, if it is input voltage, there is no question of having answer in C and D. Answer should be between A and B. in common emitter, who is the common part? Emitter is the common. So who is the input terminal? Base is the input terminal. So the answer is B. It is VB, voltage between base and emitter, is the input voltage. So here we can see in common emitter, input voltage is VB, like we have seen now. Input current is IB and output current will be IC. Collector we are taking output. So one is common. So another two will act as input and output. So base is input, collector is output. So VCE is the output voltage and IC is the output current. If we talk about common base, VCB is the input, VEB is the input and VCB is the output, right? Here we give forward bias, here we give reverse bias. In common collector, the input is VCB and output is VCE. Again, base is the input. For these two, base is the input. So IB is input current, here IB is input current. So these three combination diagrams you have to remember. So operation mode, three configurations are there. So we should not get confused between operation mode and the configuration. Configuration is making any one terminal of transistor common between input and output. And what is the mode? Mode is the operation, how in which mode we are using transistor. Either there is full current, or if there is no current, or if there is linear current. So according to that we have active, saturation and cutoff, these modes. In examination most of the time student may get confused, so you should not get confused in this. The next question is, BJT can be used as an amplifier in dash dash. So you have few modes and one option none. So you have to answer this one. Your time starts now. As an amplifier, so two regions in the beginning we have discussed. Cutoff means off, saturation means on. What happens in between? Yes, the answer is active region. In active region it works as an amplifier. And another two region, cutoff related to switch off, saturation related to switch on. Active region is related to amplifier, active region. So it is amplifier. And how we calculate the power? The general formula for calculation of power is the product of voltage and current basically. So if we talk about output power, it will be product of output voltage to output current. So if I have emitter as common and if my output voltage is VC and output current is IC, then the power of that particular BJT will be VCE into ICE, right? And while operating the transistor we should use it in the given limits, otherwise it may get damage. And we should also consider the heat parameter. Due to heat, the damage of devices may occur because heat will directly affect the number of electrons, and number of electrons will directly affect the current amount, right? So now one more important concept we will discuss here. So as we have discussed, when base triggers, so there will be flow of base current and there will be flow from collector to emitter, right? So how we know that our system is giving us some gain or profit? So we calculate the gains. So gain, here the gains are given by two terms, alpha and beta, for common base and common emitter configuration. So let us first see what is this IE. So emitter current. Emitter current is combination of collector current as well as base current, because from both of them the flow will go to emitter, right? This is actual flow of electrons, we can say. So IE, this current IE is addition of IB plus IC. We have seen in the last session. It is also validated by the Kirchhoff's current law. Now how we say what is my gain? Gain is always calculated as the output current by, say, input current. If IC is my output current and IE is the input, so the ratio of we have the output current by input current. Here we have IC by IB if it is common base. In other case, if the input is IE, it will be IC by IE. This parameter will be termed as alpha, the gain, right? So this alpha is for particular configuration, right? So input is this one, and say out where is the output? IC is the output, IE is the input. So what is common base? So this is for that particular configuration. From this particular equation we can say IB is equal to IE minus IC. So from here we can say IC is equal to alpha IE. We can send this particular denominator to RHS. So we can keep this value in place of IC. So it will become IB is equal to IE minus alpha IE. So if we simplify it, if we take IE common, we get IB is equal to IE 1 minus alpha. So this is one expression. Similarly, we get beta, where output is IC and input is IB, right? So this is common emitter configuration as gain for common emitter. So it will be equal to, from here we have IB, so it will be IC by IE into 1 minus alpha. So with this one we can simplify, so we'll get alpha by 1 minus alpha. So alpha and beta, these are the gains in two different configurations. So we have this output for common base, this is output by input for common emitter. Further, like we have seen alpha, so from here beta is equal to alpha by 1 minus alpha. So what will be alpha? On similar line we can say alpha is equal to beta by beta plus 1, or we can write it as alpha is equal to beta 1 minus alpha. So these alpha and beta relations we have to remember. So if alpha is 0.99 and alpha value is always less than 1, from here we can validate it, its value is always below 1. So if alpha is 0.99, beta will be 99. So beta range is even from 50 to 200. It depends on the manufacturer how they create the beta value, and they provided it on the data sheets. For every device we get data sheet on that, various parameters, how much current it can handle, how much voltage it can handle, or what are the various power dissipation values. Everything is available there. Now let us see one example based on this. So we have, the question is, a bipolar NPN transistor has DC current gain, that is beta, of 200. Calculate the base current IB required to switch a resistive load of 4 milliampere. So what is given data? We have beta 200, we have load current 4 milliampere, and we have to calculate the IB. So before that we have to remember few points here. The collector voltage must be greater and positive with respect to the emitter voltage to allow current to flow through the transistor between the collector emitter junction, and there should be voltage drop between the base and emitter terminal of about 0.7 volt for silicon to make it on, right? Now let us see the answer. We have to calculate IB. IB is IC by beta. So we know the IC current is given in milliampere, so we'll write 4 into 10 to the power minus 3 divided by 200. So the IB will be in 200 microamperes. So beta is 200, IC is 4 milliampere, and IB is 20 microampere. Similarly, we can have another example. Here one graph is given and the value of beta are to be calculated. We will see this type of graphs again, but here what is there? Vertical always current, horizontal is always voltage. Here we can see IC. This is the output graph. IC is output current, VC is output voltage. So collector is output and VC is the collector emitter voltage. So this is the output part, and we have to calculate beta from this particular graph. So if we consider this particular place where IC is 5 milliampere and IB, the input, is changed to 50 microampere, then we will apply the same formula, beta is equal to IC by IB. So IC is this particular value, 50 microampere by 5, this is 5 milliamperes, right? So it is equal to 100. So if we have beta, we can calculate alpha. Alpha is equal to beta by beta plus 1. So we get this value to 0.99. So next question is, value of alpha is always less than 1, either it is true or false. Just now we have seen example and we also discussed it. You have to put answers in the comment box. The answer is true. Alpha value is always less than 1. Now let us see the characteristics, the input and output characteristic. So as we have seen the input, we have discussed about input also. Input is only connected with P type and N type. Base is P, emitter is N. So this PN input side is working like a diode only. So the characteristic, what is characteristic? It is a graph between the voltage and current. So it will also be same like diode. So how it will be? For output we will see after a while. We will get like this. For input side, what is the current? IB is the input current. What is input voltage? VB is the input voltage. So the graph between input current and input voltage will be called as input characteristic. So as it is PN junction only, so its graph will be same to the PN junction. Same answer or graph you have to draw if someone asks you to draw the VI characteristic of diode, or if someone asks you to draw the input characteristic of any kind of configuration, will be same. So it will be off if you increase the voltage up to cutoff, that is up to the wall strength, that is up to 0.7. There won't be any flow of current. Once you cross the capacity of potential barrier or depletion region or the wall, we are calling it, then the current starts increasing. So this is input characteristic for the input side between input current and input voltage. Then output characteristic. Output characteristic is for the output part. In output, the current, output current is IC. So IC, for this diagram, IC is the output current and VC is the output voltage. So this is the graph between output current and output voltage. So this particular output voltage, as we have discussed earlier, when this particular base gets on, then only output will work. So it depends on the input variations. If input current is changed, this output values will also change. So the graph between output current and output voltage depends on the input current. We change the input current and we get the change in the output graph. And who is input current in this case? In this case, base is the input. So base current is the input current, that is IB. So first, when we increase some, so when there is no supply from this particular region, from this input, then it will be off. This region is cut off region here, right? So early voltage we will discuss later on. So we have to concentrate on this quadrant only, and this one only you have to draw in examination. So this region where there is no current or nothing happens around 0 is called as cutoff. When we give some variation at the input current goes to say 10 microampere, then you can see here there is small increment in current, and then there is variation in the voltage. Voltage is increasing continuously, but current is almost constant here. When we further increase the IB, then we get a little more current, but voltage increases rapidly. Again you increase the IB, you get more current, but it is not as compared to the voltage, and again voltage is increasing rapidly. So for this particular region, this is active region when the device is active, but one limit comes when the circuit goes into saturation, when both the sides are forward bias, then that region goes into saturation. So this output characteristic very important, you have to practice it for the examination, input characteristic and output characteristic. So in few books, for common emitter, base is the input. In few books the graph is shown as straight line. In few books you can see there is small variation, there is inclination. So it depends on the resistance. So due to resistance we get some variation. In few books you will get the straight line. And when this goes beyond the capacity of voltage handling, then what will happen? If anything crosses beyond the handling capacity, then current increases rapidly and device may get damaged. So after particular voltage, if it goes beyond this graph will keep on increasing, but if this output reverse voltage is keep on increasing beyond the handling capacity, then there will be abrupt increase in the current, sudden up. So it will go into breakdown. Okay, so one more thing you have to remember, the output current is in the range of milliamperes and the input current is in the terms of microamperes. You can see that these current levels are very small, right? And here gain is around 300 for this particular case is saying. Then biasing. Next topics we have to discuss about the biasing, and we have to see what is load line and what is Q point. So what is biasing? Biasing is what we have to do. We have to flow. We have to discuss the flow between collector emitter, how exactly that particular passage is flowing, and for making it proper flow, for getting the proper flow and getting the proper mode, we have to decide how much voltage or resistances we have to give in the circuit. That particular condition is called as transistor biasing. And the circuit which uses proper biasing, proper voltages and resistances is called as biasing circuit, right? And the transistor must be in linear region for being active, right? And there will be one operating point or Q point that we have to discuss. It depends on the IC, VC and IB. So let's have one question here. For calculation of output characteristic, dash current is varied. So if it is common emitter configuration, like we have seen in the previous example, which current should vary? So there are no options, you have to write the answer. So for reference I can say IC, IB or IE. Yes, the answer is IB in our example discussed previously. The summary is almost IE and IC same currents are same. In base we get small loss of current due to the leakage and recombination. IC is equal to beta IB. Beta is in the range of hundreds. Normally it varies from 50 to 200. VBE for NPN and PNP same, the input voltage, it should cross 0.7, right? This is summary of the BJT. Next topic we have to discuss about the load line. Load line is the line between the cutoff and saturation point. What we are discussing, we have cutoff, we have saturation, and we have these graphs. We change the input current values changes and we get the various graphs. So but what are the limits? There will be one point present on this particular say y-axis. That will be the max. There will be one point where we can get the maximum current. So that particular point will be considered as the saturation point, the on condition. and on x-axis is always denoted for voltage. There will be one maximum possible voltage beyond which we cannot get the voltage. It is called as cutoff voltage, and we have to define one point Q. It is called as operating point, quiescent point, or simply Q point for this particular region to check out the operating point, and that particular concept we have to discuss. So let us continue the load line in the next session. So till then, have a good day, have a good time.